Namaskar to all. We are very happy and very proud that we are introducing today a very noble and very challenging social service trust, Mano Nandana. For that, I requested Sri Milind S. Gokhale ji, who is mechanical engineer and surveying in Robert Bosch, India. He is also uh, managing trustee and president of Mano Nandana and also managing trustee of Hindu Seva Pratishthan. I request him, please uh, give us details of Mano Nandana, and I appreciate you. You are doing very, very nice and noble.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Namaste. So, first of all, I thank Makanji for your kind gesture. So, to introduce us to the, I would say, NRI stationed in US. So, through your channel, I would also convey my regards to all fellow Indians who are located in US. So, I would use this opportunity to give a short glimpse, a kind of a bird's eye view about our activity in Manonandana Trust. So, Manonandana Trust started in 1996, and you can imagine that the child born with a disability and coming from a marginalized family, the challenges faced by the parents. So, most of the parents are coming from the marginalized and lower economical section. So, they need to go out to earn their bread. So, it's a bigger challenge for them that what they will do with this child who needs maybe attention. So, out of love, fear, whatever you call, they tend to lock the child in their respective houses. So this badly affects on the overall growth of this child because the child needs very intense rehabilitation process. So what we are doing is we have a center where we can accommodate such 60 children at a time, and we have a staff highly motivated, trained in house in Manonandana, and our project in charge is qualified from the different organizations. She has done her masters in how to handle the rehabilitation process of the special children. We are having a group of trustees. So most of the trustees with us are professionals coming from different professional background with a service motto. So this is purely a charitable activity, you can say, in a way, because the efforts going towards rehabilitation are enormous, and we don't charge any fees to these children, because you know that these children are coming from the economical backward section of the society. So for them, we don't want to tax with additional burden or financial burden. So our center, we have basically the physiotherapy department. Separately, we conduct physiotherapy on need based. We have speech and hearing therapy. So because we handle multiple disabled child, so along with the mental retardation, it is not supposed to be called as mental retardation. I know it is maybe mental inability, or the challenged children sometimes have a multiple challenges, multiple disabilities. So most of the schools in this domain, the first question the school administration asks to parents is whether child has a toilet control. Whereas you know that when the child is having this kind of the physical age growth but mentally not grown, will not have a toilet control. So most of these children are deprived with the rehabilitation process till they learn the toilet control. Whereas in our institute, even for the children who don't have a toilet control, we give them the admission. So it is a USP. You can call that it is our one of the USP, that even for such children we give admission, because we consider even toilet control is a part of rehabilitation process. So we have adequate staff. We call it in Karnataka, we call it Aya. So that means they are basically the staff who takes care of the child Whenever child has a natural call and unable to control, then we need to maintain cleanliness and hygiene. So we have adequate measures in place. So additional staff is recruited, and this staff really take care of the child like their own mother. So they don't hesitate even to change the clothes, give a bath. So this is something very unique feature of Manonandana. You can see that the whole atmosphere there is like a family. So all the staff members, the special educators and trustees, all of us are putting our efforts towards ensuring that this child is undergoing a rehabilitation process, and the families will have a smile on their face. So that's the very reason our sponsorship program, we call it as a sponsor a smile. So that means the annual expenditure approximately comes to 30,000 rupees per child, and anybody sponsoring this expenditure is, we call it as a, he is sponsoring a smile, because by virtue of sponsoring a child's rehabilitation process, the family who is in distress will really get a smile. So that's how it is linked as a sponsor a smile program. We have mostly the society coming forward to support financially for our efforts. And you know that our society is a very large hearted. So far we have been successfully able to run the center. Recently we celebrated our silver jubilee, 25 years of service to special child, and many activities were conducted. So I can just maybe quote one case study. One child was brought by the mother, and here again I would like to mention and salute these mothers who really take care of such children on spite of having multiple challenges. Unfortunately, it is really unfortunate that we have around 20% single parents. That means because such a child is born, this husband has run away and mother has to take care of the child and herself. So a mother came with a child, and this child was physical age was around 7 years, and mental age was maybe 1.5 to 2 years. So we have a very scientific method of doing the assessment of the children. When we get a child, we do the complete assessment on the mapping. So it is called the basic assessment tool. So with the assessment, our educators are able to say that what is the mental age of the child. So based on that, this was a big challenge, because there were two things with this particular child. One is this kind of a mental retardation or a mental challenge. Second, that child was not having a communication coming from brain to her legs, so she was not able to stand on her foot. So from that level, in this recent our celebrations, 25 years of Manonandana celebration, she performed. There is a dance form in South India. She performed that dance on the stage. So you can imagine the efforts put in by our special educators, physiotherapists, teachers, so that this child who is unable to even walk could come to the level that the child could perform a dance. So there is a Yakshagana form, that is the very famous dance form in South India, particularly in Karnataka. So this child could perform Yakshagana. So this is the transformation what we are seeing. There is one very good success story. One young boy today, he is around 19-year-old. We can keep the children at our center up to their physical age of 18 because of the government norms. And by the time this child becomes physical age 18, we see that at least the child becomes self-sufficient. So this is the objective. But of course, there are some very good success stories. Like one child we trained, that child could identify colors, shape, differentiate between the weight. Now this child, we requested one of the nearby merchant who is a basically a trader in the paint dealership. So we just requested him that whether he can employ this boy. It is not for money only, purely not for the money, but the engagement of the child, because these kind of children, they need to be engaged for long, otherwise regression can happen. So, considering that, we requested this employer. He initially had some hesitation, but then he appointed this child because he is able to identify the colors, differentiate between the colors, differentiate between the size and weight. So, that was sufficient for him to employ him to segregate the color boxes, different paint boxes. And when I met this employer recently, he was so much fond of this boy. He was telling, in my entire staff, this is the boy who works most sincerely and without making a single mistake. So if you tell him to bring black color, he will never bring gray color. He will bring only black color. So that kind of training we could give to this boy, and he is now employed. So there are such good success stories with our Manonandana, wherein we could bring really the change in these families. There are, of course, very big challenges. What after 18 is the bigger challenge faced by most of the parents, because the schools like ours, we can retain this child up to the physical age of 18, and beyond 18, if this boy or girl needs further maybe treatment or a refinement, then where to go? So we are trying to address this challenge now. We are going for a outreach program very shortly, wherein we are going to open a center for above 18 age, wherein we will bring in some vocational training for these boys and girls, so that they will get engaged and the regression doesn't happen. So our more focus is to ensure that there is no regression in the child. During COVID also, it was so challenging because you cannot ask these children to come to center, because one reason is naturally COVID per se, it's a pandemic, and then we cannot take a chance. Second is the mental age of the child is so small that it is very difficult to maybe demand social distancing or teach them how to behave in the group. So it was a big challenge, and all of us were really, I would say, tensed to say that what will happen for the 2 years gap if we are unable to make any rehabilitation process. What will happen to these children? So I gave an idea to my staff. I said that, look, everybody is talking about something new normal, that is, even in our offices now, we are not going to office but working from home. So can we think of something similar that we start? The first challenge came that these boys and girls are not familiar with using mobile phones. Second, most of the parents also did not had smartphones. They had a phone, but they did not had a smartphone. So we started mobilizing smartphones. So we ensured that these families get a smartphone. Then our teachers will form a group. In that group, they will post a video, and they will tell the parents that you perform as per the video. You get this rehabilitation process at home. And fortunately, most of our trainings are ecology based. So when we say identify colors, we don't bring the color pictures. We physically bring the objects like red tomato, green chili. Like that, we bring the ecology based objects which will be easy to understand for the child and differentiate also. So we said that you please continue rehabilitation at your respective houses. So curriculum was designed. We communicated this curriculum through the mobile phone, and then these parents started teaching them. The effect of this is, post pandemic, when these boys are now back to school, we are finding no regression. All whatever was taught, they are at that level. And our staff had put enormous efforts through this, because the videos, they had to make videos for themselves or using one of the family member, and then enact what they want to train. You can imagine how difficult it is when we are not maybe professional actors, but then they have to perform like an actor, then videograph that, send those videos to those parents, and then ensure that they conduct the training, record the video, and send it back to institute. So now we have more than 180 hours of videos what we generated in this process on my server. So that is another challenge, that I have to now buy a additional space for the server. So these are some very interesting challenges what we faced during COVID also, and we ensured that there is no break or there is no stop during COVID as well. Now the overall situation is improving. Children have come back. We need to maybe enhance our approaches. We need to see that whether we need to bring some new approaches. So we are collaborating with the experts. We are in touch with institutes like Nimans, which is one of the world famous organization, fortunately in Bangalore. And through our connect, we could get the experts visiting us. We could send our teachers to Nimans so that we could train the staff for newer practices, so that we are not left out from the technology part. So this is what I can say in a very short time about Manonandana. As on date, we have 60 such children we have given this year admission, and we get really good financial support from society. However, for us to expand, for us to serve more and more, we really need a lot of support from fellow citizens. And I also make a appeal to all of you, those who are viewing this video, that please come forward and support generously. So you can also do donations in US and avail US tax benefits if it is channelized through one of the partner NGOs in US. So that provision is there. We are tied up with the Seva International. So if the donations are done to Seva International with a intimation that this donation should go to Manonandana, they will facilitate the donation reaching us. We are FCRA registered organization. Our all legal entities and everything is audited by third party. We have complete certification of 12A ATG, which are required for Indian donors to avail even the tax benefits. So I really, through this video, welcome you. Whenever you all are seeing this video and trying to get connected with us, please, whenever you are traveling to India, drop in. If you are happen to be in Bangalore, please drop in, see what we are doing, and encourage the staff and the our teachers who are really putting enormous efforts towards rehabilitation of the special children. So I thank each one of you. Namaste.
Very, very thanks. I have also visited your center before for
Yes,
years.
I remember you had
And
visited us.
actually, you are doing very, 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 very nice work, very challenging work.
Yeah, it's challenging.
Thanks God, people will positively uh, give the hands to you. Okay, धन्यवाद. Thank you.
धन्यवाद, धन्यवाद. Namaste.
वह जीवन भी क्या जीवन है जो काम देश के आ न सका। वह जीवन भी क्या जीवन है जो काम देश के आ न सका। वह चंदन भी क्या चंदन है जो अपना वन महका न सका। वह जीवन भी क्या जीवन है जो काम देश के आ न सका। वह जीवन भी क्या जीवन है जो काम देश के आ न सका। जिसकी धरती पर जन्म लिया, जिसके समीर से सांस चली, जिसके अमृत से प्यास बुझी, जिसकी माटी में देह पली। वह क्या सपूत जो जन्मभूमि के प्रति कर्तव्य निभा न सका। वह जीवन भी क्या जीवन है जो काम देश के आ न सका। वह जीवन भी क्या जीवन है जो काम देश के आ न सका।
A paradise for children with special needs. That's Mano Nandana, These children are unbelievably just extraordinary. Their cognitive and physical development do not go hand in hand. Integrating them into the mainstream society is a huge and an unparalleled challenge. Challenge is mighty, but Mano Nandana is with all restraint and tolerance remains firm-footed on the inclusive idea of merging these special or differently abled children into the social mainstream to save them from the circumstances of their birth by integrating them with the world. Not all differently abled are same. Hence, the approach to these children are very subjective. It involves subtle nuances. For example, a physically 20-year-old could be 5 years of age intellectually. In many cases, multifaceted challenges haunt such children. Thus, Mano Nandana, in a scientific way, rationalizes its standards by categorizing the different levels of intellectual development of these children and tailors the training to mold them accordingly.
ಈ ಮನೋನಂದನ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಬುದ್ಧಿಮಾಂದ್ಯ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಹಾಗೂ ಬಹು ನ್ಯೂನತೆ ಇರುವ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಇಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇವರಿಗೆ ಮೊದಲೇದು ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಯ್ನ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಏನು ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಸಮಗ್ರ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಕೊಡೋದು. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಥರ ಥೆರಪಿಗಳು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ.
Available multiple support options includes environment-based holistic education, yoga, speech and language therapy, music therapy, occasional therapy, life skills, crafts, dance, movement training and counseling to name a few. Mano Nandana draws its strength from service-oriented and like-minded skilled instructors and skilled force who work on war footing to train these children. Mano Nandana draws its strength from service-oriented and like-minded skilled instructors and skilled force who work on war footing to train these children. To birth, many unexpected factors cause disorders in these children. In many cases, parents have no clue on the delayed development of their children and get to know quite late. Consequently, possibility of developing various shortcomings are bright. Thus, the functioning of child's neck, hands, feet, eyes and other organs may not be as expected.
ಈ ಥರ ಮಕ್ಕಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅರ್ಲಿ ಇಂಟರ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅಂದರೆ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ 3 ತಿಂಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮಗು ಕುತ್ತಿಗೆ ನಿಂತಿಲ್ಲ, 4ನೇ ತಿಂಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮಗು ಬೋರ್ಲು ಬಿದ್ದಿಲ್ಲ, 6-7 ತಿಂಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮಗು ಅಮ್ಮೆಗಾಲು ಇಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಥರ ಮಕ್ಕಳಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಗುರುತಿಸಿದಾಗ ಇವರು ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟಾಗಿ ಒಬ್ಬರು ಅವರ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಈ ಥರ ಮಕ್ಕಳಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಶೂಗಳು ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ನಡೆಯುವಾಗ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಇರಬೇಕು ಶೂ, ಕಾಲಿಗೆ ಡಿಫಾರ್ಮಿಟಿಗೆ ಯಾವ ಥರ ತಕ್ಕಂಥ A4 ಅಂತ ಫುಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಕಲ್ ಫುಟ್ ಆರ್ಥೋಸಿಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲ ಥರನೂ ತರಬೇತಿ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಇವರೇ ಯಾವನ್ನೂ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ.
Mano Nandana has a set of talented tutors to teach these differently able children. They are a dedicated bunch of specialists, specially trained in India and abroad, form the backbone of the organization. The role of experts training the mentors from time to time is invaluable, and the services of these trained staff are priceless. These ever duty-minded members ensure the continuity of training at all circumstances.
ಮಕ್ಕಳ ವರ್ತನೆ ತೊಂದರೆನ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಮೊದಲನೇ ಅಂಶ. ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿಗಳಾಗಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಲಿ ಅವ್ರು ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಅದ ನಂತರ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟವಾಗಿರೋದನ್ನು ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿಸಿ ಆದಷ್ಟು ಅವರ ಸಿಟ್ಟು ಕೋಪ ಇದನ್ನು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು.
Home is the first and foremost step for these special children to engage with mainstream society. Thus, Mano Nandana has adopted a method of providing timely advice and guidance to parents at their own place.
ಅರಿವು ಮೂಡಿಸುವ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ. ಇದರಿಂದ ಮನೆ ಒಳಗಡೆಯುವ ಸದಸ್ಯರಿಗೂ ಹಾಗೂ ಅಕ್ಕಪಕ್ಕದ ಮನೆಯವರಿಗೂ ಮಗುವಿನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ನೀಡ್ತೇವೆ.
ಮನೋನಂದನ ಸ್ಕೂಲಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ತರಬೇತಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಮಗೂ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ನನ್ನ ಮಗ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಆಗೋಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣವಾದ ಮನೋನಂದನ ಶಾಲೆಗೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
Conceived in the year 1996, Mano Nandana is the brainchild of Dr. Kusuma Bhatt, a speech and hearing specialist. Today, With the help of generous donors, Mano Nandana has grown tremendously. In addition to this, the involvement of the Hindu Seva Pratishthan since 2012 has expanded its scope. It has also succeeded in delivering technologically significant improvements in keeping with today's modern and evolving needs. The administration's sincere response is commendable and forms the root of all-round development of Mano Nandana.
ನಮಗೆ ದೇವ ದುರ್ಲಭ ಆದಂಥ ಒಂದು ತಂಡ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆ ಶ್ರಮಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೋನಂದನದ ಟ್ರಸ್ಟೀಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಮನೋನಂದನದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುವಂಥ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಿಬ್ಬಂದಿ ವರ್ಗ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇವರ ಸಹಾಯದಿಂದ ಇವತ್ತು ಮನೋನಂದನ ಒಂದು ವಿಶಾಲ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಾಗಿ ವಿಶೇಷ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಶ್ರಮಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರುವಂಥ, ವಿಶೇಷ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ದಾರಿ ನೀಡುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸಾಮರ್ಥ್ಯ ಇರುವಂಥ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಾಗಿ ಎದ್ದು ನಿಂತಿದೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ಸಿಲ್ವರ್ ಜುಬ್ಲಿ, ಬೆಳ್ಳಿ ಹಬ್ಬವನ್ನು ಆಚರಿಸುವಂಥ ಈ ಪ್ರಸಂಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಳೆದ ಹಲವಾರು ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಕಟ್ಟಡದ ನಿರ್ಮಾಣ ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರುವಂಥ ಸಾಮಗ್ರಿ, ಶೈಕ್ಷಣಿಕ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ, ಇವು ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಪೂರೈಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಮಾಜ ಬಾಂಧವಗಳಿಂದ ನಮಗೆ ಸಿಗುತ್ತಾ ಇರುವಂಥ ಸಹಾಯ ಉಲ್ಲೇಖನೀಯ. ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಸೌತಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂಥ ಕೆಂಗೇರಿಯಿಂದ ಉತ್ತರಹಳ್ಳಿ ಈ ಪ್ರದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಅದರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಅರ್ಲಿ ಇಂಟರ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಕಲ್ಪನೆ ರೂಪಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಲ್ಪನೆಗಳನ್ನು ರೂಪಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಇರುವಂಥ ಈ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಕೊಡುವಂಥ ನಮಗೆ ಶಕ್ತಿ ನೀಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಸಮಾಜ ನಮಗೆ ಬೆನ್ನಿಂದೆ ನಿಂತಿರೋದು ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಗಮನಿಸಬೇಕು. ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟ್ CSR ಫಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಉದ್ಯಮಿಗಳು ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕ ದೇಣಿಗೆದಾರರಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇವರು ಎಲ್ಲರ ಸಹಾಯದಿಂದ ಮನೋನಂದನ ಇವತ್ತು ಒಂದು ಬೃಹತ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಾಗಿ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೆ. ಹಲವಾರು ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಪಡೆದಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಏರಿಯಾ ಆಫ್ ಡಿಸಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನಮಗೆ ಬಂದಿದೆ. BBMPಯ ವಿಶೇಷ ಮಕ್ಕಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಆಗಿ ನಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಬಂದಿದೆ.
The governing body appointed by the Hindu Seva Pratishthan is very active and creative. A time-to-time meeting of parents to take their thoughts into account is being held. Their suggestions are heeded and appropriate actions are taken. The body also shares its ideas and opinions on planning events, anniversaries and other programs with the parents. Various sections of the society, the public and dignitaries have praised Mano Nandana's service alike. All of this further reinforces Mano Nandana's resolve.
ಮನೋನಂದನ ಕೇಂದ್ರದ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಕಳೆದ ದಶಕಗಳಿಂದ ಪರಿಚಯ ಇದೆ. ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಅನಂತಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನಾನು 2-3 ಸಲ ಈ ಕೇಂದ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ಭೇಟಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೆ. ನ್ಯೂನ್ಯತೆ ಇರುವಂಥವ್ರು ಅಥವಾ ವಿಶೇಷ ಪ್ರತಿಭೆ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಅಥವಾ ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಬೇರೆ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಈ ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಹಿನಿಗೆ ತರುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಅವರ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿಗಳಿಗೆ ವಿಷಯವನ್ನು ಹೇಳುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಜಾಗೃತಿ ಮೂಡಿಸೋದು, ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಸಮಾಜದ ದಾನಿಗಳಿರ್ಬೋದು ಮತ್ತು ಸೇವಾಕರ್ತರನ್ನು ಈ ಕೆಲಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಜೋಡಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು, ಈ ಥರ ಸಮಗ್ರವಾಗಿ ಚಿಂತನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಮನೋನಂದನ ಕೇಂದ್ರ ವಿಶೇಷ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಸಲುವಾಗಿ ಮತ್ತು ನ್ಯೂನತೆ ಇರುವ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಸಲುವಾಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
Mano Nandana has succeeded in creating an environmental consciousness among them by engaging them in their theme park, Nandanavana and other parks.
ತುಂಬಾ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಇರೋ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಬರೋವಾಗ ನೀವು ಏನು ಬಗ್ಗೆನೂ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಬೇಡ, ನಾವು ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ.
The art of storytelling, basic arithmetic are being taught to these special children with care. The curriculum includes play, mat craftsmanship and painting courses, along with training them in color and object recognition. The Karnataka State Rajyotsava Award in the year 2005, the Kempegowda Award in the year 2006, and awards from Empowerment Directorate in the year 2007 are the feathers in Mano Nandana's cap.
ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೋನಂದನ ಈ 25 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಜರ್ನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ 1000ಕ್ಕೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಜೀವನವನ್ನು ಬದಲಾಯಿಸಿದೆ. ನಾವು ಸಾಧಿಸಿದ್ದು ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿದ್ರೂ ಇನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸಾಧಿಸಬೇಕಾದ್ದು ಬಹಳಷ್ಟಿದೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಸೆಂಟರ್ನ ನಾವಿನ್ನು ಇನ್ಫ್ರಾಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಇನ್ನು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕ್ವಾಲಿಫೈಡ್ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ನ ತೊಗೊಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆ ಕೂಡ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಇನ್ನು ನಮ್ಮ ಔಟ್ರೀಚನ್ನು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಪೋರ್ಟು ಇದುವರೆಗೂ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ನಮ್ಮ ದಾನಿಗಳು ಅಂದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಡೋನರ್ಸೇ. ಇನ್ನು ಮುಂದೆ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಈ ಡೋನರ್ಸಿಂದನೇ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಪೋರ್ಟನ್ನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾನವನಂದನ, ದಸ್ ಸರ್ವ್ ದ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ.
With the support of members of parliament, members of legislative assembly and corporators in the constituency, and with BBMP backing up, Mano Nandana, currently based at Tata Silk Farm building in Bangalore's Basavangudi ward, has plans to expand the service horizon by setting up another unit in the Uttarahalli Kengeri area. Its objective is to make it a landmark achievement on its 25 years of service.